Hello students, this is Dr. Chetna Kumawat. In today's lecture, we will understand profitability ratios based on capital. The efficiency of an enterprise is judged by the amount of profits, but sometimes the conclusions drawn on the basis of profit to sales ratio may be misleading, as the amount of profit depends to a great extent upon the volume of investment in assets or capital employed in the business. Therefore, the state of efficiency cannot be judged by the volume of profits alone. This requires the calculation of ratios with reference to capital and assets to measure the real profitability. The important categories of such ratios are discussed as follows. Number 1. Return on capital employed. Meaning and computation. The primary objective of making investment in any business is to obtain adequate return on capital invested. Therefore, to measure the overall profitability of the firm, it is essential to compare profit with capital employed. With this objective, return on capital employed is calculated. It is also called return on investment. This ratio expresses the relationship between profit and capital employed and is calculated in percentage by dividing the net profit by capital employed. The formula used is as follows: net profit, which is PBIT, profit before interest and tax, divided by capital employed into 100. Alternatively, it can be calculated as return on capital employed is equals to assets turnover multiplied by profit margin, or sales divided by total assets into net profit divided by sales multiplying by 100. Net profit means the profit earned by capital employed. It is the net profit before interests, which is on long-term loan, and tax, PBIT. Excluding non-trading income such as income from investments, non-recurring and abnormal profits, and non-trading and abnormal losses. Profit after interest is given, then interest on long-term loans will be added back. It should be remembered while calculating return on capital employed that profit before interest and tax should be used for measuring managerial efficiency, and profit after interest and tax should be used for comparing two firms or computation for owner's purpose. Capital employed means gross capital employed and net capital employed. Gross capital employed means the total assets used in the business. Net capital employed means total assets minus current liabilities. While calculating capital employed, non-trading investments, idle assets, intangible assets like goodwill, patent, trademark whose realizable value is nil, fictitious assets like preliminary expenses, underwriting commission, discount on issue of shares and debentures, abnormal debtors, obsolete stock, cash or bank balance more than requirements should be excluded from assets. A few experts apply average capital employed instead of capital employed. The average capital employed may be calculated by dividing the sum of the capital employed at the beginning and at the end of the year by 2 or by deducting 1/2 of current year's profit in the capital employed at the end of the year. Interpretation and significance. Since profit is the overall objective of a business enterprise, this ratio is a barometer of the overall performance of the enterprise. It measures how efficiently the capital employed in the business is being used. In other words, it is also a measure of the earning power of the net assets of the business. Even the performance of two dissimilar firms may be compared with the help of this ratio. Furthermore, the ratio can be used to judge the borrowing policy of the enterprise. If an enterprise having the ratio of return on investment of 15% borrows at 16%, it would indicate that it is borrowing at a rate higher than its earning rate. The comparison of this ratio with that of similar firms and with industry average over a period of time would disclose as to how effectively the long-term funds provided by owners and creditors have been used. Second, return on net worth or shareholders' funds or equity. Meaning and computation. This ratio expresses the percentage relationship between net profit after interest and tax and net worth or shareholders' funds. This is also known as a return on proprietary or proprietors' funds. It is used to ascertain the rate of return on resources provided by the shareholders. The ratio is calculated by using the following formula: net profit after tax and interest divided by shareholders' funds or net worth multiplying by 100. Net worth or shareholders' funds include preference share capital as well as equity shareholders' funds, which in turn comprises equity share capital, share premium and reserves, and surpluses after adjusting the accumulated losses and fictitious assets. The net profits after deducting interest and tax but before deducting dividend on preference shares. It is the final income that is available for distribution as dividends to shareholders. Significance: this ratio measures the amount of earnings for each rupee that the shareholders have invested in the company. The higher the ratio, the more favorable is the interpretation of the company's use of its resources contributed by the shareholders. This ratio can be composed with that of other units engaged in similar activities as also with the industry on average. Number 3. Return on equity shareholders' funds. Meaning and computation. Equity shareholders are the real owners of a company. Therefore, the profitability of a company from the owner's standpoint should be viewed in terms of return to equity shareholders. This ratio is calculated by dividing the profit available for equity shareholders by the equity shareholders' funds expressed as a formula. The ratio is net profit after tax minus preference dividend divided by equity shareholders' funds and multiplying by 100. Sometimes profit is expressed as a percentage of paid up equity share capital to know the dividend paying capacity of the company. This is considered to be a better measure of profitability for inter-firm comparison and expressed as a formula: net profit after tax minus preference dividend divided by equity share capital, which is paid up capital, and multiplying it by 100. Components: net profit represents the residual profit left and available for distribution to the equity shareholders after provisions have been made for all other financial obligations such as taxation, interest, and preference share dividend. Equity shareholders fund refers to equity share capital, revenue and capital reserves, and undistributed profits and surpluses after deducting accumulated losses and fictitious assets, if any. Interpretation and significance. This ratio is the best measure of a company's profit earning capacity. The higher the ratio, the better the performance and prospects of the company. It provides adequate test to evaluate whether a company has earned satisfactory return for its equity shareholders or not. The adequacy of the return can be measured by comparing it with the return of the previous year or of companies engaged in similar business or with the overall industry average. The investors can decide to invest or not to invest in the equity shares of a company by comparing it with the normal rate of return in the market. Due to issue of new shares or buyback of shares during the year, the equity share capital and preference share capital of the company do not remain the same throughout the year. Therefore, to calculate the amount of average shareholders' fund, which is 1/2 of the opening and closing balance, is used to calculate the return on net worth, return on equity shareholders' funds. In absence of opening balances, closing balances are used. Number 4, return on total assets. Meaning and computation. Profitability can also be measured by establishing relationship between net profit and total assets. This ratio is computed by dividing the net profits after tax by total funds invested or total assets. Total assets means all net fixed assets, current assets, and non-trading investments. Fictitious assets are excluded, but intangible assets are included only when they have realizable value. Expressed as formula, the ratio is net profit after tax divided by total assets into 100. Interpretation and significance. This ratio measures the profitability of investments, which reflects managerial efficiency. The higher the ratio, the better is the profit earning capacity of the firm or vice versa. But this ratio does not reveal the profitability of different sources of funds used in purchasing the total assets. Technically, this ratio suffers from the drawback that the interest paid to the creditors is excluded from the net profit, whereas the real return on the total assets is the net operating earnings. Therefore, to consider real earnings, interest on long-term loans should be added back to profit after tax. Thus, return on total assets should be computed on the following revised formula: net profit after tax plus interest divided by total assets into 100.